Section 1. You will hear a number of different recordings and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 sections. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. Now turn to Section 1. Section 1. You will hear a man phoning to inquire about a job vacancy. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 6. You'll see that there is an example that has been done for you. On this occasion only, the conversation relating to this will be played first.
Good afternoon, Fit Life Gym.
Good afternoon. I'm calling about the job vacancy for a gym instructor.
Oh, yes,
I'd like to find out more details, if I may.
of course. Can I take your name, please?
It's David Johnson.
Okay, David. What would you like to know?
Well, first of all, what kind of work is involved?
The position mainly involves leading group exercise classes and providing one-on-one training sessions.
That sounds perfect. How many hours a week would it be?
We're looking for someone who can work 20 hours a week.
That should fit well with my schedule. Are the hours flexible?
Yes, we try to accommodate our instructors' schedules as much as possible.
Great. And do I need any specific qualifications?
Yes, we require a certification in fitness training and at least 2 years of experience.
I have both, so that's good. Where is the gym located?
We have several branches, but the vacancy is at our main branch on Elm Street.
Is it near any public transportation?
Yes, the bus stop is right outside the gym.
That's convenient. And what about the pay?
We offer $15 an hour.
That's reasonable. My last job paid $13 an hour.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 7 to 10. Now listen, and answer questions 7 to 10.
We also provide some additional benefits.
Really? Like what?
Well, we offer free gym membership for all our employees,
That's fantastic.
and we provide regular training workshops to help you improve your skills.
That's very useful. Do you offer any bonuses?
Yes, we have a performance bonus scheme.
Excellent. What qualities are you looking for in a candidate?
We need someone who is enthusiastic and good at motivating people.
I believe I have those qualities.
Great. When would you be available for an interview?
I'm available on Friday.
Could you come in on the 24th at 3 p.m.?
Yes, that works for me.
Perfect. Please bring your resume and 2 references.
I'll do that. By the way, who should I ask for when I arrive?
Ask for Jane Miller.
Got it. Thanks very much.
You're welcome. See you on Friday.
Section 2. You will hear an introductory talk about the Pinewood Forest Conservation Program. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 17. Now listen and answer questions 11 to 17.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Pinewood Forest Conservation Program. Today, I'll provide you with some information about our program and the short courses we offer on forest conservation and wildlife awareness. Our program, established by a group of passionate environmentalists 20 years ago, aims to educate individuals of all ages about the importance of preserving our forests and wildlife. Over the last decade, we have been organizing weekend trips for school groups, primarily from the local area, but also from neighboring regions. These trips take place on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Initially, many students are reluctant to participate because we have a strict no technology policy, meaning no smartphones, tablets, or other electronic devices are allowed. This policy helps students to fully immerse themselves in nature and the educational activities we provide. Interestingly, by the end of the weekend, most students are eager to stay longer and often express a desire to return. In fact, several of our current volunteers were once students who attended these weekend trips and were inspired to join our cause. The program is largely funded by the revenue from our various educational courses and workshops, as well as generous donations from the community. Additionally, we operate a small organic farm, the proceeds from which help sustain our activities. Now, let me give you an overview of our site. We are currently at the main entrance, where you can see the visitor center directly ahead. To the right of the path leading north, you'll find the student cabins, starting with Pine Lodge, which can accommodate up to 12 students. The next 3 cabins are designated for family stays, and the 4th cabin, Oak Lodge, is reserved for our staff members. On the left side of the path, opposite the family cabins, you'll find the Education Center, equipped with modern facilities and resources. Adjacent to the Education Center is the cafeteria, which is also open to day visitors. Next to the cafeteria is a play area for children, complete with swings and slides. We have a strict no campfire policy here to protect the forest. At the northernmost part of our map, you will find the organic farm, which stretches across the entire northern boundary. Following the path between the play area and the farm, you will enter the heart of Pinewood Forest. Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 18 to 20.
Now listen and answer questions 18 to 20.
The forest is situated on a gentle slope, offering stunning panoramic views of the valley below. The entire area is a protected nature reserve, ensuring that no development or logging activities take place. The forest's landscape has remained unchanged for centuries, with ancient trees that have stood for hundreds of years. We strongly advise visitors to stay on the marked trails to avoid getting lost and to minimize their impact on the environment. During your walks, you may see volunteers working to clear fallen branches and maintain the trails. We ask that visitors do not pick any plants, flowers, or seeds to help us preserve the ecosystem for future generations.
That is the end of section 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Section 3. You will hear a conversation between a professor and a student discussing a research project on international relations. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 25. Now, listen carefully, and answer questions 21 to 25.
Good afternoon, Sarah. How is your research on international relations coming along?
Good afternoon, Professor. It's progressing well, thank you. I've been focusing on the factors that influence diplomatic relationships between countries.
That sounds interesting. Could you give me a brief overview of what you've done so far?
Certainly, initially I planned to look at the historical context of these relationships. However, I decided to expand my research to include economic and cultural influences as well. I've conducted interviews with diplomats and international relations experts to gather diverse perspectives.
How many interviews have you conducted?
So far, I've interviewed about 10 diplomats and 20 experts in international relations from various countries.
Did you consider using surveys to reach a larger group?
No, I thought face-to-face interviews would provide more in-depth insights. This way, I could ask follow-up questions and get more detailed responses.
And what have you found so far?
The diplomats highlighted the importance of economic cooperation and trade agreements in strengthening relationships. They also mentioned that cultural exchanges, such as student exchange programs and cultural festivals, play a significant role.
Interesting. And what about the experts in international relations?
They emphasized the impact of political stability and mutual respect between countries. They also noted that historical events can deeply influence current relationships.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 26 to 30. Now listen, and answer questions 26 to 30.
Let's delve deeper into the factors that influence international relationships. Sarah, could you explain the main factors you've identified?
Sure. There are three primary factors that emerged from my research. The first is economic cooperation. This includes trade agreements and joint economic projects which build trust and mutual benefits.
And the next factor?
The second factor is cultural exchanges. Activities like student exchange programs, cultural festivals, and tourism help people from different countries understand and appreciate each other's cultures.
And the third factor?
The third factor is political stability. Countries with stable political environments are seen as more reliable partners. This stability fosters trust and long-term cooperation.
It seems like you've gathered some valuable insights. How do you plan to use this information?
I'm planning to analyze how these factors interact with each other and influence the overall relationship between countries. This will help in understanding which areas to focus on to improve diplomatic ties.
That sounds like a solid plan. I look forward to reading your final report.
Section 4. You will hear a university lecture about koalas, an iconic marsupial native to Australia. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 35. Now listen carefully, and answer questions 31 to 35.
Today we continue our series on wildlife conservation with a focus on koalas, one of Australia's most beloved animals. Koalas are marsupials, which means they carry their young in a pouch. They are often mistakenly called koala bears, but they are not bears at all. Koalas are primarily found in the eucalyptus forests of eastern Australia. These forests provide the necessary environment for koalas to thrive. They rely heavily on eucalyptus trees, which provide both their habitat and their main food source. Koalas eat eucalyptus leaves almost exclusively, which are low in nutrition and high in toxins. This diet requires a specialized digestive system that allows them to detoxify the harmful chemicals in the leaves. Koalas spend most of their time in trees and have adapted to this arboreal lifestyle with strong limbs and sharp claws that help them climb and cling to branches. They are known for their sedentary lifestyle, sleeping up to 22 hours a day to conserve energy due to their low-nutrient diet. Despite their sluggish appearance, koalas can be quite agile when moving between trees.
Before you hear the rest of the lecture, you have some time to look at questions 36 to 40. Now listen, and answer questions 36 to 40.
Koalas are currently facing several threats that are pushing them towards endangered status. The most significant threat is habitat destruction due to urbanization, agriculture, and logging. This loss of habitat leads to fragmentation, making it difficult for koalas to find food and mates, increasing their risk of inbreeding and population decline. Another major threat is disease. Koalas are susceptible to chlamydia, which can cause blindness, infertility, and sometimes death. The spread of this disease has severely impacted koala populations, particularly in certain areas where infection rates are high. Climate change also poses a significant threat to koalas. Increased temperatures and more frequent droughts affect eucalyptus trees, reducing the availability of food for koalas. Furthermore, severe weather events such as bushfires can devastate large areas of koala habitat, leading to significant population losses. Conservation efforts are underway to protect koalas. These include habitat restoration projects, which aim to replant eucalyptus forests and create wildlife corridors to connect fragmented habitats, allowing koalas to move freely and safely between areas. Medical treatment programs are also in place to treat diseased koalas and prevent the spread of infections. Public awareness campaigns and advocacy are crucial in raising support for conservation measures and ensuring the survival of this iconic species.